Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It is chamber check-in time, and today we get to learn about Pacific Source Health Plans with Pedro Rojas and learn more about Pacific Source. But before we get to this conversation, I get to thank our series sponsor for these chamber check-ins, Delta Dental of Idaho. And as you know, Delta Dental are experts in the dental insurance, offering best-in-class customer service with industry-leading benefits designed and backed by the largest network of dentists. And now I get to share a fun video from our sponsor. Here we go.
These days, we're homebodies like never before, so our snack and beverage choices may have changed. So remember to keep your smile and your oral health in check with healthier food and snacks, smarter beverages, and regular brushing and flossing.
All right. Hey, thanks, Delta Dental. And now I get to introduce Pedro Rojas, sales executive for Pacific Source Health Plans. Hi, Pedro.
How you doing, Paul? Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Hey, you were in our offices last week, and you've been an ambassador for the chamber for many years, as long as I've known you. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It looks like we've got light at the end of the tunnel. It seems like things are maybe starting to get back to a little bit, some semblance of normal. So I'm feeling great. I'm happy to kind of be where we're at. And I'm ready to rock and roll, man.
Awesome. Well, Pedro, you've been in the healthcare industry as long as I've known you. I think it was back in 2014, where in fact, that was when I started with the chamber, and you were one of the first people I met in the community, in the chamber world. So that's really cool. So what you told me a little bit about your journey and how you landed in the healthcare industry. And I love the story. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about you and how you got involved with the healthcare industry.
I'd love to. Thanks for that. Yeah, it is kind of an interesting story. Back it was 2011, 2012, when the ACA was being formed, the Affordable Care Act, healthcare reform. I just had it in my mind. I was like, you know what, this is a good industry. This is, might be my opportunity to do something, right? And I thought to myself, everybody's going to be basically required to purchase health care and have health insurance, and the uninsured rate was still relatively high. So I saw an opportunity. And, luckily I was living in Idaho, living in Boise, and a company came in and was actually going to be helping folks sign up for coverage to the Affordable Care Act. And so I actually joined them as a supervisor manager and was actually managing teams that were helping folks enroll throughout the, I think it was 37 or 39 states that the federal exchange was helping folks enroll. So I gained a lot of knowledge about the ACA. I mean, they put us through a pretty extensive training program and basically taught us the ins and outs of what was changing, right? This is going to be the new way of healthcare and health insurance. And so I learned a lot. And then fortunately, there's a little bit more to that story. Unfortunately, we got laid off, right? I kind of told you about that. We got, after about 6 months or so, they're like, hey, look, it's slowed down. We got to lay a bunch of folks off. And that's not what we thought. We all thought we'd be there, permanent employees for a few years. But regardless, a lot of people were unfortunately lined up, at the unemployment office to try to get some unemployment checks and whatnot. So I happened to be in there. I've done real estate for some time. And so I actually had some 1099 income. So I didn't actually qualify for an unemployment check at that time. But it was interesting because I was in the unemployment office to talk to someone about that issue when a gentleman approached me. One of the hiring recruiters back there approached me. I was dressed up, I had a tie, and I kind of how you see me normally out in the public, right? And anyway, he brought me to the back and just gave me an interview on the spot. And come to find out, he was hiring for a company called Mountain Health Co-op, which is a local health insurance company created by the Affordable Care Act, right? New kids on the block. And essentially, I did a 30-40 minute interview with him. And, I met most of the qualifications, that meet a couple, no one's perfect. But essentially, he sent my information along to the company. They didn't get back to me right away. At that time, they hadn't even had approval to be a health insurance company in the state. So anyway, I took a job with another company, started working. And then, about a month into it, I get a call from the executive director over there. And basically over the course of the next couple months, I interview with, everybody from the director up to the CEO, and eventually was offered a position to be a sales executive and manage individual commercial insurance, health insurance, as well as small group insurance. And so, and it all kind of was just from a conversation with the gentleman there at the Department of Labor. And then from there, I helped, grow Mountain Health Co-op business over the course. I think I was there 5 years, a little bit more than that. and then had a really great opportunity to go over to Pacific Source. And we'll talk a little bit about their history, but a really great company. And so I'm so excited to be where I'm at. I feel very fortunate to be where I'm at. I love helping the community. I love helping businesses set up their insurance plan and benefits and engage their employees. It has been quite a journey. It's been 8 years. It's kind of hard to believe. And yeah, you're right. I remember when we first met as well. I came in there, just not knowing a lot, just wanted to give back. Let me help, put me where I need to go, coach, and let me help the community. And yeah, I do remember our conversations. And so yeah, really awesome. And thanks for asking that question.
Absolutely, Pedro. It's so important that we learn about our people, right? That's the most important thing, because people make the difference. So, that's a great segue into talking a little bit about Pacific Source and their history. So, I've done my research on the website. Back in 1933, a group of physicians started out the business, and over 90 years, they've expanded to different states and are known for the quality of service. So tell me and expand a little bit more on Pacific Source's history.
Yeah, Pacific Source is awesome. They have an amazing history, and it was something that I read about before I came on board as well. And I could probably spend all afternoon talking about the history because there's so much of it, but I will give it to you in a nutshell. And I'm going from memory too, so please forgive me. But yeah, back in 1933, Pacific Source health plans came out, and they were Pacific Source Hospital Association, or Pacific Hospital Association, excuse me. And they were formed by a group of 21 physicians in the Eugene area, Eugene Springfield area. Essentially, at first, they started off, they wanted to create a community-based health plan. They wanted to ensure the people that were in that community and start helping people. So essentially, those doctors got together and formed a health plan. Initially, they were insuring just the employees, right? Their employees, but slowly but surely, it started reaching out to state and government employees. And another big one for us early in the 30s was the lumber industry, right? Especially in Oregon. So we were insuring a lot of those folks, and we were insuring them for $2 per month. So you kind of think about where we are now and where we were then. Yeah, quite a difference. So yeah, $2 per month was the premium for those folks back then. And then really over the course of the next 40 years, they slowly expanded. And it's one of those things where it was such a methodical, thought out process. They did not want to just go out there, look, we're doing well, let's just go and expand everywhere. They really kind of took their time over the course of 40 years to ensure that where they entered, they could actually help the community. They didn't just want to go in there and be another carrier, another insurance company, right? So again, over the course of next 40, 50 years, they slowly expanded into the Bend area, to the Medford area. We have multiple offices throughout Oregon. I believe by the mid-70s, we were statewide in Oregon. And then by the mid-90s, we had continued to grow our commercial business in all areas of the state. And then in 2007, they decided that they wanted to become a regional carrier. So we expanded into Idaho in 2007 and brought the exact same approach that those folks brought in 1933, right? Which is creating a community-based health plan that not only is insuring people, but that is giving back to the community, that's creating a healthier community, that's helping people, reach their healthcare journey wherever they're at in it. And then from there, 2007, I believe it was 2011 when we expanded into Montana. And then in 2019, we expanded into Washington. So now we are now across the Pacific Northwest. We have plans and commercial plans, Medicare plans for all lines of business. So really a great journey. And again, it's one of those things where Pacific Source has really been methodical about their growth, about where they're going to operate. And again, the Northwest is home for us. And yeah, we love what we're doing. So it's been a great ride for Pacific Source. And like you said, almost 90 years of being a nonprofit community-based health plan it's quite an achievement. And I believe also another really interesting thing is I believe we've had 4 CEOs in that time, maybe 3. It has been incredible, the leadership and the stability that we've had up at the top, and it shows.
I'm so glad you said that. That's a huge thing for culture. And
yes.
With, new appointments like you have with them, you feel more inclined to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak.
Yes.
When you look at that type of history, and one of the things I wanted to point out was, and I was reading on the website about your company culture, and one of the values I read was actively participates internally and externally to improve the communities that Pacific Source serves. Expand on that a little bit for me.
Yeah, I mean, really, Pacific Source not only encourages, they want us out there in the community and helping out. You know, that's being a health insurance company is not just about insuring people. It's about taking care of people, and it's about caring for people and about people. And Pacific Source, you know, make sure that all of our employees have everything we need to be able to give back to the community. So we have every single year we do a charity of choice. Where basically all the employees from each state, so Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, pick a charity, and all throughout the year we all raise money. Whether it's doing a bake drive, right, where everybody brings in baked goods and we basically sell them, and all 100% of those profits go to our charity of choice. And then throughout the year, every single state does that. Throughout all of our organizations, all of our sites, and then on top of that, obviously that's the internal stuff we do. The external stuff we do as well is like. We have these community health excellence grants that hospital systems, nonprofits can actually approach us and say, hey, we want to apply for one of your grants. And basically they submit their idea. We have a committee of folks internally that reviews those, and we pick, 5 to 6 folks a year who we provide grants to. We provided grants to places like St. Luke's and Terry Riley Health Services and folks like that. So yeah, I mean, the other thing that Pacific Source does that I think is great is every single year they give us 8 hours of paid time for volunteer work. So they actually pay us to go out into the community and give back. I mean, that's huge, and the funny thing is most of us are doing it much more than 8 hours, right? A lot of us are out there giving back to the community as much as we can. But how nice is it to have a company that's willing to pay you to go out there and give back to your community? So, I mean, Pacific Source goes above and beyond when it comes back to not only giving to the community, but taking care of people. So yeah, there's so much more I can talk about. We do a lot for the United Way. We do a lot locally for the hospital systems, physicians, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's been quite a year.
Pedro, tell me a little bit more about the plans that you offer. Employers, I see on your website, for members. Dive a little bit more into some of the plans I would recognize.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we offer Medicare plans, obviously, which is for the senior market, 65 plus. We have commercial insurance plans, which are individuals and families who are seeking coverage on their own. Or, of course, our big market is the group market, the employer market, where we help businesses of any size. I mean, basically any 2 employees all the way up to 1,000, 10,000 employees. We have plans that can fit everybody's needs. Really, for us, the big thing is making sure that we're not one that just wants to take on anybody. Oh yeah, just come to us because we're a health insurance company and we can offer it. We want to ensure that we have what folks need and that our plans are going to fit not only families' needs, but maybe their employees' needs as well. And so we do a really good job of engaging employers, talking with employers, helping them engage their employees to ensure the plans we're putting together fit the needs of their families, their employees' families, and everybody in between. We also do some business over in the Oregon market in Medicaid. So Medicaid's run a little different over in Oregon, and we have almost 250,000 Medicaid members in Oregon right now that we're managing. Throughout the entire company, we have over 500,000 members currently. Yeah, and that's a lot. And we continue to work with hospital systems and physicians to continue to bring a high quality of care to the communities we serve.
Okay. Hey, I also wanted to let everybody know on this call that not only you're a friend of mine, but you also participate in our ambassador program. And I think you've been a part of that since 2014 or 2015.
Yes.
And we just love having you a part of that program, because we just can't send anybody out to go deliver new member packets. And the credibility, the honesty, the quality of person that you are, Pedro, it means a lot to us. So thanks for that external time that you spend in your community, especially with us.
I appreciate that very much. I enjoy the ambassador program. It is such a great program, and I think it's so crucial to what the Boise Metro Chamber is doing with growing and retaining membership, and again, helping this community and providing resources to the community. And so I enjoy every second of it. I have been crazy busy, but it's the one thing that, no matter what I have going on, I'm going to be an ambassador. I've been on the leadership team. I've had to take a little step back from that, but I'm still participating, helping out as much as I can. And like I said, I enjoy every second of it. And you guys are an awesome team. Teresa, everybody over there is amazing. So it's so much fun. And I look forward to getting to see everybody in person again and getting back to kind of that normal, ribbon cuttings and grand openings and just, man, being together. So it's going to be great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think our next luncheon is here in person.
It is.
We got Juliet Blick's grand opening this afternoon.
Today, yep.
So hopefully I'll see you there.
I'm going to show up.
Awesome. Hey, Pedro, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate this. Pacific Source is lucky to have you, my friend.
Hey, thank you so much, Paul. I always enjoy talking with you. Look forward to seeing you in person.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Paul.